It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble, 30 minutes of time-wasting fun today. I avoid social media as much as possible. I talk about that quite frequently here on the show. Now, because I do that, because I talk about it, it has a lot of you reaching out to me and saying, well, have you heard about this? Do you hear that people do this? I'm totally clued out when it comes to different trends. That whole, what was it called? The Tide Pod thing where people were eating detergent or whatever it was, or this like planking thing where people were falling off balconies and dying. Like I have never heard about any of these things until, well, people started dying. I'm just not, like I said, I've never downloaded or used TikTok ever. It's never been on my phone. It's never been on any of our work devices. We don't use it. We never have. And so it's fascinating to hear what people find entertaining. Well, first of all, what people do on camera, and then secondly, what people find entertaining, right? Because obviously people are doing these things on camera because there's an audience for it. And it's bizarre to me because the new, I don't know if it's a trend, I don't know what you call it, but this new, I'll call it a trend, I guess, is people begging for money. Now, I've talked about this back in the day for like people's birthdays where people just have no shame and go, it's my birthday, here's my Venmo, send me money. The equivalent to that would be, walking around your workplace, walking around your office on your birthday with a hat out, going, it's my birthday, donations, money, anybody? Like you're at church, you're putting the money in the hat kind of a thing. I just would never have thought of doing that when I was a kid. Even in I'm trying to think of what age I kind of really stopped getting things for my birthday from, like when you're 5 or 6, you get, birthday presents from, the neighbors or your aunts and uncles and whatever it is. It kind of, I guess, stops when you're a teenager. I don't remember. I guess you then get cards and gift cards or, or cash or something after. But I certainly would never have gone around at my own, family birthday party and expected my cousins to just, me directly to say to them, any money for my birthday? What do you have for my birthday? Any kind of cash? Maybe you do that as a joke, I guess, but people, adults, grown-ups, users of social media are doing this. And what's strange to me is, I guess back in the day, again, that just makes me sound so old. When I was growing up, if you were experiencing financial hardships, it was actually something that you kind of downplayed or hid as much as you could. I mean, it was embarrassing. You didn't want people to know that. Fast forward to today, though, where it's, again, I don't know if the term is, it's not a badge of honor. I don't know what you would, it's, there's almost a pride in not being able to take care of yourself for some reason because, you just have this expectation that the world will take care of you. And I don't know if that's a symptom of social media. Is that a symptom of rising costs? Is that a symptom of people not applying themselves? Is it a combination of one or two or all of these things? It's tough for me to say. Now, the one thing that does sort of strike me odd is the online fundraisers. So, that's a little bit different than the people who will sit on the videos that I've seen. It's people on TikTok because I've seen these compilation videos of people who basically make fun of these people and they sit there for 20 minutes and they just go through a bunch of clips of people who are doing exactly this. And that's how I kind of first heard about this whole thing. But let's talk about online fundraisers on the Scribble right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. You know, it was several years ago, I guess, where we heard the term crowdfunding. Right? That was the easy way of saying fundraising online, right? Really, I mean, that's kind of what it is. It used to be called fundraising, but now it's called fundraising in general is crowdfund. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's not fundraising if it's just, one person, right? Fundraising is typically, more than one person. So I remember that being back in the day. I would do the multiple sclerosis, the MS Super Cities Walk in Winnipeg. I think it was a Canadian thing, but it happened in my city in Winnipeg. And that was where you would get that pledge sheet. And you would go into school. You'd ask your teacher. That was and I think they also kind of felt obligated, right? Anybody does when you're a 4, 5, 6-year-old kid. And so we would do that. I had 2 older brothers, and my mom would do it. My dad never. I don't think that he ever came on those things with us. I think it was just my brothers, my mom, and me. So and then you go to the next family get together, right? And you hit up your aunts and uncles, and so they'll give you $5 or whatever it is, and then you go and you do this walk for however many miles it is. I don't remember. Again, when you're young like that, you don't know how many miles is or whatever it is. You just do it, right? Because you can. You're able-bodied. You're young and you're healthy. So that's what fundraising was when I was growing up. And you didn't. The money wasn't going to you. You didn't get anything out of it, right? It was just something that you were fundraising for the cause. And maybe. I don't know how necessarily rich the CEOs of these organizations were back in the day, but we know that's made headlines too, right? These non-profits and the salaries of these CEOs is in the millions of dollars sometimes, and you kind of sit there and go, did you really need my donation then? Did you? And on top of that, let me also just kind of go out on a sidetrack here. They send you these gifts, right? You see that there's the squeaky kids of the Shriners commercials or whatever it is, and it's like, we'll send you a blanket, we'll send you this and that. How much did that cost them? Those things aren't donated to the organization, even if they are getting them at a cheap wholesale cost. I'm giving you money and then you're giving me gifts in return. That doesn't really, I'm basically essentially just buying the swag. The swag or swag? How do you say it? Swag? So that's also why I don't give money to charities like that. I will absolutely donate my time. My time is worth a lot of money, so I will go and I'll volunteer and I'll help and I'll do things. But giving you actual money, no. And here's why. Let me also just talk about this for a second, because there was I don't know if it's not considered a homeless shelter. I don't know what you call them anymore. But in my hometown of Winnipeg, this was maybe 6-7 months ago, there was a fire. Not at their building, but the one next door. But they were impacted, smoke damage or whatever, water damage, I don't know, something had happened to it. And we got a note to our office, and it was kind of asking if we would, donate money. So I've heard of the place before. And again, because we don't do it, it wasn't even a consideration for me. But I wanted to look it up and just see, if we do have supplies or something. But when I say we don't give money, we are not cutting you a check. We are not handing you dollar bills. We are not giving you money. If it's, let's say, an animal shelter, I have got, stockpiles of dog food or something. Okay, right? But I'm not giving you $50. So we end up looking up this homeless, or this, whatever it was, soup kitchen. I can't remember what it was. At the bottom of their website, I see that they are funded or sponsored or partners with the city of Winnipeg, the province of Manitoba, and the government of Canada. All 3 levels of the fucking government, and you have the nerve to ask citizens, taxpayers, local businesses for money. That's where I draw the line on things like that. That's where I just, you know what? Fuck you, because the government has a lot more money than I do. Believe you me. Believe you me. The government has... Think about when the pandemic hit. I'm talking to my fellow Canadians here now, right? When the pandemic hit, isn't it amazing the government of Canada could find $1 billion out of nowhere, $2 billion out of nowhere. Aid for Ukraine, they found $1 billion there. Don't come to me when you are funded by 3 fucking levels of government for money. How dare you? How dare you? Now, don't get me wrong. Let me be clear. I realize that there are some charitable organizations and nonprofits, animal rescues, whatever it might be, that don't have that kind of funding. Let me be very, very clear on that. I get it. I know that not everybody. But when you're funded by 3 fucking levels of government, how dare you come to me and ask me for money? How dare you? No. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Even if it was 2 levels of government. No. And so that's where I'm kind of sitting. Like, again, if people want to donate, that's fine. It's your money. Do whatever the hell you want with it. I will not when it's something like that. Now, one of my dogs, who's actually, he was on the floor. I don't know where he went, but he came from an animal rescue. And so, I certainly paid for the adoption, and, that also came with veterinary work, whatever. But you know what happened? Because I have a lot of money, I actually said to them, you know what? I got the neutering, you don't have to pay for that, because I know that they run a tab at the veterinarian office, and sometimes they have a hard time paying it off. So you know what? That's fine. I adopted, just give me the dog for whatever. I can't remember how much the adoption fee was. The first shots or whatever it was that he was needing, I'll take care of. So let's just, you don't have to cover his vet bills for the first 6 months or whatever. I can't remember what the deal was. I have a lot of money. It's fine. We're good. So yeah, I'll do something like that, because I know that they're not, even if they do get a grant, maybe it's $100 or a few $100 or $1,000 or something like that. That's fine. That's not funding where they've got government logos and links on their website. That is different. That takes it to a different level. So yeah, I take issue when I get this plea for money like that, when you've got the government kicking in all this money. You know what? Hit up whatever. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about online thing for a second. So crowdfunding is this new buzzword, and it's really just digital fundraising is what it is. So I get it, same kind of a thing. So let's go back to that whole animal thing, right? Your pet needs surgery or has some kind of an emergency. I get it. But again, back in the day, it used to be that you would post it on your Facebook page and you would get your friends or whatever to donate. And if they felt so inclined, they might share it on their page or whatever it is. But now people are using social media, and then, the hashtags or however you promote things on social media to then just get a wider audience. Now, of course, why not? I mean, if you can reach millions of people instead of just your small social circle, okay. But when it's for the stupid things, like when I see people, and of course, everybody now has the big sappy write-up, right, about, like why they need the money. And so, okay, fine, I understand medical bills or vet bills or something like that, all right. But when it's like, to go on vacation and to do so, that's more just a fun fundraiser. That's what that is. There's no sad, I never had vacations when I was growing up. Oh, boo. Then get a better paying fucking job and pay your own way. Because you know what? A vacation is a leisure activity. It's not something that is owed to you. It's not that you deserve it. If you were better with your money, you can save up. And you know what? So if you didn't go on vacation 1 year, oh darn, too bad. Now, again, like I said, there's this weird expectation that just because you've posted it, that people are going to do that. Now, I have she was a friend years ago. She's not really we were friends in our early 20s. I know that she's married and has kids. I don't even know the husband's name. So it's not like we're friends, like we talk on a regular basis. But so out of nowhere, I get a message on Facebook. This is a few months ago. I get a message on Facebook, it wasn't even like, hey, Jeremy, or like it was almost just kind of like, hey, would love if you could post this or share this. I know you've got a big audience or whatever. And I just kind of thought, first of all, you haven't even talked to me in how many fucking years? Like, we've never even socially hung out for years. So, okay, yeah, let's hit up the radio guy who has, a platform or whatever it is. And it was a fundraiser for, I don't know if it was I think it was her sister's husband. It wasn't a direct family member. I think it was a sister's husband anyway. And so, I'm not on Facebook very often. So by the time I got around to it, I went and clicked the GoFundMe link, and they had raised like $40,000 or something already at this point. And I kind of thought, okay, whatever, you don't need me. So that's that. So that's one thing. The nerve to just kind of, oh, I don't even know a thing about you. Don't even know. Have I heard from you on my birthday? Have you ever, aside from Facebook telling you that it's my birthday, have you, do you wish me Merry Christmas? Is there anything? Do you ever reach out to me? No. Oh, but you want me to either, not necessarily me give money, but you want me to use my platform to help you earn money. Okay. All right. Or your sister, whoever it is. But that's one of the issues that I take. Now, we're going to take a break. So when I come back, I want to talk about celebrities fundraise, digital panhandling. That's what they're doing. Celebrities panhandling, the millionaires panhandling on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
JB here on the Scribble. All right, so we're talking digital panhandling, online panhandling, and it's getting worse when it comes to celebrities. Now, we had this incident years ago with Oprah and The Rock. Do you remember this, when there was that natural disaster, the fires or whatever it was in Hawaii, and all of a sudden you got Oprah and The Rock standing there, encouraging you to donate. Excuse me, billionaire Oprah Winfrey. Billionaire fucking Oprah Winfrey. You have some nerve. Now, I liked Oprah back in the day. Don't get me wrong. I was obsessed with talk shows. It seems like now she's just hawking things. Like, yes, she had her book club and her favorite things, whatever. It wasn't, yes, that's in your face, but it was, like once a year, every couple of, but it seems like the only time you see her now is she is promoting something, right? The last one was about how this weight loss drugs or whatever it is, obesity is a disease, and so she did the press rounds with this doctor and basically upstaged every interview. And so now I just feel like she's just hawking products. Like she's become this, guru for whatever is in the moment. And so I kind of have lost respect for Oprah. More so when she did this, oh, you could help the people of Hawaii. Excuse me, billionaire who lives there, who has property there. Come on now. The other one is when you hear about these celebrities or former celebrities who, can't make their rent. Now, this is, and there are some critics who feel the same way as me because I've seen the comments. It's happened, use the stories on TMZ or whatever it is, Mickey Rourke or whoever it is, out of work but you know what? I remember years ago, there was somebody from the Cosby Show. I can't remember who it was. I interviewed him at the TV Land Awards. And so he's not a celebrity anymore, kind of thing. And it made headlines that he was working at Trader Joe's here in Los Angeles. That's somebody who wasn't too good to get a civilian job. You know what? You got to pay your way. You got to pay your way. And so he did it. Now, he was mocked because obviously somebody had recognized him, took his picture, and it was in the tabloids, whatever. And that's a little embarrassing. And I kind of don't agree with doing something like that because, hey, like I said, he wasn't online begging and pleading going, hey, I'm a washed up former celebrity from 40 years ago. Give me money. No, if I got to work in a grocery store, I'm going to work in a grocery store. Kudos to him. Good job. Good job. Is it humiliating for him? Probably absolutely every fucking minute of the day. Absolutely it probably is. And so, but at least he puts his ego aside and there we are. Then the issue, though, that I have with these online campaigns for celebrities is just as many other people feel. Excuse me, you squandered away your millions. You were a top star. You were an A-lister back in the day, however long it was, right? I mean, you have to realize that the actual like A-list celebrities were making way more per movie than they are now. Now they're not making as much because the audiences aren't there and the movies aren't, profiting that much. So they're not making that much money. But here's the thing. Even if you were making 1 million or 2 million on a picture and it was 10 years ago, well, okay, then maybe you did not need the $4 million house, right? Like you hear this all the time, and you see that now with these social media influencers. Is they get a shit ton of money in the first, month or two or whatever. They spend, right? It's always the fancy car, the big house, whatever. Here, take it from somebody who owns 2 houses, both with pools, let me point out. Having a big house is not all it's cracked up to be. Because as you get older, I'm 44 now, as you get older, am I 43? What did you just say? I don't know how old I am. Whatever, I'm in my 40s. I'm at that age where you forget how old you are. Let me tell you, but to have a big house, not all it's cracked up to be, because what ends up happening is you're like, oh shit, I left my glass in the other room. I don't want to bother getting up to go and get it. That's what ends up happening. So you can have the biggest house in the world, but let me tell you, once you hit that age where you're just like, I'm already sitting down for the night, I'm not getting up again. Big house is not your friend. Let me tell you, it is not. So, you look at this and go, well, you're living beyond your means now, right? Then downsize. If you're living in the mansion now, you could easily sell it and go into a condo or get something. Or you're A-list celebrity from the 70s or 80s. There's a good chance that the younger crowd that's tuned into social media and TMZ or whatever doesn't know who the fuck you are. So you know what? Sell your mansion for $5 million. That's on you. But don't now hit up the public for fundraising. That's just not. And so the other one that caught me by surprise. Now, this happened earlier in the year when James Van Der Beek died, right? He died in February. So here's somebody who, Dawson's Creek was a big show in the 90s. He'd had some other roles. I know we played an interview with him on from my radio shows back in 2012. He was doing an NBC drama called Mercy. He played a doctor in a hospital. That show lasted, 1 or 2 seasons. So, I mean, he had roles, right? He had other acting work after that. Certainly probably not Dawson's Creek money, right? And as I was just saying earlier, those shows were paying a lot. Once you hit it big and you were in your 4th or 5th season or whatever, however far you went, you were getting more, per season. So I understand that he and his wife had 6 kids. I get that. But at the same time, this is where I kind of say, you need to plan for things like this, though, right? I mean, you keep popping out kids. I've mentioned my cousin who's got 5 kids. She's a single mom. And you're kind of like, well, as they get older, they actually become more expensive to raise because they now need the technology and a car and have college and whatever it is. And they're not going to be moving out at a decent age like back in the day. So I'm not saying that James Van Der Beek pissed away his money. I'm not saying he was a washed up, out of work actor. I'm not saying that at all. But hours after that was announced, all of a sudden, boom, there's a GoFundMe posted online. And now because we covered the death on our show, we did a special edition of the show in the afternoon. Now, the GoFundMe was trying to raise $300,000, I think, at the beginning. So we were monitoring that throughout the day after the story broke. And obviously then you had places like TMZ, Page 6, whoever, posting the link to GoFundMe, and some major other news outlets as well. So then by the time that we had taped our show and then it went live, which was I think about 45 minutes later, it was at $424,000. So if you have your initial goal of $300,000, let's say that's what their initial goal was, they were at $424,000. All of a sudden now, the next target, the next goal is $700,000. These are actual numbers that we documented. So now you're at 424. Now you've moved the goalpost. So now your goal is 700,000. Okay. Now later in the day, as I said, more and more people were seeing it. It was at I can't read what that said. It was 1 million. Then the goal was 1.3 million. So here's my thought about this, right? To me, that seems greedy. Now, I understand from the person who set up the fundraiser, if you can get more, well, then, of course, you're going to keep extending it, right? You're going to, we reached the goal, right? Let's keep going for more. Well, If you only needed 300 at the beginning, now I feel that you're becoming greedy. It's one thing, yes, people are outpouring support and pouring out money and giving it. Okay, you're going to take it. But that's where I kind of look at this and go, if 300 was the goal, then just stop there. Because when I see it now that the goal is 1.3, now the goal is $1 million more than what you initially wanted. No. And so, again, this brings up the question then of, Fox Entertainment had put out a statement, and I think it was Amazon also put out statements. Again, those companies have plenty of money. Nothing wrong with them, hitting up the widow or whoever and going, we can spot you some, we can give you some. You don't think Amazon or Fox, which is basically, it's Disney right now. They kind of got money. They got money. If you've got the nerve to ask the public and do, I'm the widow of a celebrity. Granted, is he A-list? It's debatable. And again, I've got nothing against him. He was on the radio with me. He was a wonderful guy. But I'm just saying, though, this is where the whole online, fundraising campaign or whatever, when it's for a celebrity, you've moved that goalpost, right? So talking about that former friend who had, who messaged me on Facebook or whatever, if their goal was 20,000 and all of a sudden they're now at 40 and I go back to the campaign, now the goal is 75,000. Well, if it didn't need to be that much before, then why not just stop? Right? I think maybe people kind of expect that you go to the campaign once, you see what it is, especially for somebody like a celebrity with James Van Der Beek. I mean, you're going to go and you're going to refresh it and you're going to go see, how much it's at now, because that number is just growing and growing and growing and growing, growing, right? But 300 was enough. That was the goal. Now it seems like you're taking advantage of people's kindness, is what it seems to me. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that they're not deserving, that they don't need it. Apparently the cancers, he had a net worth reportedly $3 million before he died. So that apparently, blew through the savings. But then here's the thing, as I was just saying earlier, then then downgrade the home. It doesn't need to be however, you have a big family, but that's also on you though, right? Whether that's financial planning, whether that's, I don't know, how they mismanages finances, whatever it would be. But the bottom line is, you're ultimately responsible for taking care of yourself. And so I think this is where we have the issue. And I was talking about how the national news outlets, all picked up it happens there's a Los Angeles station here, a TV station called KTLA. And something that I take issue with is they are constantly posting people's GoFundMe links in the stories on their website. So when the reporter is standing there, we've got a link to the fundraiser or to the GoFundMe on our website. Okay, here's what happened. There was a jewelry store that was broken into. A whole bunch of stuff was taken. And the owner is, sad and pleading and, if you have any information, whatever. I'm sitting here remember, I'm a trained journalist. So I'm looking at this going, did they have insurance? If the investigation is continuing, how do we know that they're not, maybe it's insurance fraud, maybe they're on the take, maybe they're just making this sad story and are going to plead to the people of Los Angeles, big audience, right? Second largest city in the country. Let's ask some questions here before we go. Whoa. Now you're using this private company's airwaves to promote your fundraiser for a profit company. This isn't just, little Sally got robbed from her lemonade stand and, $10 was stolen from her. This is a jewelry store, first of all. And again, why ask these questions? I did not hear the answer to, do they have insurance? Do we even know the full details of what happened? You're just showing that, this was the aftermath. Are there cameras of the people doing it? Do you know, were they caught? What happened? Was this a family member? Was this you people doing this, committing insurance fraud? How do we know that this is legitimate? Let's talk to the police. Let's find out what's going on with this. But no, KTLA just goes and posts a link and is helping these people fundraise. But if they've got insurance, and what's their deductible? A few $1,000s. All right, then have your goal. This is going back to that whole goal thing. If your premium, or whatever you call it, your deductible, your insurance premium, is, let's say it's $5,000. Great, raise the $5,000 and stop there. Once you hit the $5,000, which is what you asked us for, cut it off. You reached it. take that money and run. And no, you're going to now go and say, now the goal is 10,000. Now it's 15,000. Now it's 20,000. But at the same time, you're going to get your full insurance coverage, and now you've got $20,000 that you're pocketing from the public. All because you went crying to the media and said, we have a GoFundMe as well. I don't know. I take issue with a news outlet doing that. The news outlet is supposed to be impartial. They are not supposed to be, promoting things. There's just give me this is the store. This is what happened. They allegedly, you got robbed. If police confirm that, then okay, fine. But, it's this weird sort of thing. Like, everybody's just asking you for money these days. Everybody is trying to, get something from you. And it's if I can once again use a swear word, it's fucking obnoxious. It really is. It really is. It's just, I don't know. And I hate it at Christmas time. That's even worse. All of a sudden now all the ASPCA commercials, now all the kids with disabilities and everybody is coming out. And again, I'm not saying that they're not good causes, but, why are you at this time of the year when, as we already know, people are, it's more expensive, they're financially struggling, whatever it is. Like, why do you save that up until December to hit us up? When you know that people are already overspending, you know that people are, do it maybe in the summer. Why don't you try to get people when they're booking their vacations and spring vacation, summer vacation, whatever it is, hit them up then. But to do it at the holidays to try to make me feel bad, it makes me change the channel. It makes me say no thanks. No, it does. And again, call me, an old grumpy asshole, whatever you want. But I'm just saying, I don't. First of all, let me also just say, I've worked very hard for my money and everything that I have. It's not like somebody just handed me. I'm not a Nepo baby. I didn't even know what that term meant until a few months ago. Everything that I've achieved and obtained, or attained professionally, is through my hard work. This was not, I had to make my way as a broadcaster long before podcasts and YouTube and social media and all that other shit. I had to claw and fight my way to get airtime on radio stations back in the day and to get print space in a newspaper. So don't just go and say, you had it so easy. No. But again, the issue of, fundraising for celebrities, Hollywood asking common folk for money, no. James Van Der Beek has a lot of famous friends with a lot of money. They can start kicking in. But that's where you go, the wife is, she doesn't want to go and do that. But she's got no problem endorsing a public plea from strangers. Okay. Yeah, that's not, really, come on. You don't think that Van Der Beek has connections in Hollywood? Obviously he does. If Fox Entertainment and Amazon are putting out statements after he died, they can reach out. Offer money. It's your money, do whatever you want with it. But I'm just saying, everybody is just putting their hand out. One thing to walk by somebody out on the street who's got, their hand out or a hat or something asking for money. It's another that is just so easy to just go and post a link, but you have that expectation that people are giving you money. That's the thing that just kind of irritates me the most. It's not necessarily a hard sell from people, but it's that sad story of, we'd appreciate everybody helping, blah, blah, blah. Well, think about it though, back in the day, you didn't have that luxury. You didn't have that opportunity. Maybe you would have to scrimp and scrounge and, sell some belongings or whatever it would be. But now, no. I can just post it and people will give me money. Why should I sacrifice my things? You don't think that if there was something, wrong where, my dog needed the most expensive surgery and I was living paycheck to paycheck and I didn't have money, you don't think that I would consider, let me downsize. I'm going to sell my house, or I'm going to sell my car. I'm going to sell my whatever it is. Yeah, I would not have thought, and I still wouldn't think, because to me that would just be embarrassing. Have some shame. There's nothing wrong with having some shame. I still believe if, a little embarrassment, it knocks you back down to earth and humbles you. Nothing wrong with that. I'm all for that. Truly. I really am. I am. I don't know. There's something about that bothers me. Now people will go and say, well, think about it if you were in that situation. Well, okay, but like I said, I have too much pride that in myself and my life and my world that I've created for myself than I would quietly sell my house. I would quietly do those things, but I'm not going public with this feel sorry for me kind of thing. That's just not how people were when I was raised, and that's still how my life is now. Agree with me, disagree with me. You're entitled to your opinion, just as I'm entitled to spend my money how I want and give it to what I want or not give it to what I want. And there we are. So I'd like to know your thoughts. We are out of time. The email address, live, L-I-V-E, at jbonair.com, live at jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up The Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com. Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.